welcome back to another day, Reiki Cleanse. We are so glad that you're here. We're so glad that you are committed and moving forward with this program. Thank you for saying yes to Reiki and yes to connecting with your most authentic self. Patty and I want to talk to you today about an issue that we hear so commonly through Reiki practitioners, especially newer practitioners. And that's that they don't feel comfortable offering Reiki to anybody if they're feeling at all impure. So what we want to remind you guys is that when you're stepping into that role of Reiki provider, that the Reiki energy is not coming from you, small ego self. Instead, you are acting as a conduit for that energy to come from spirit through you, cleansing you, and then offering to the receiver of Reiki, so that both you and the receiver are getting this big boost of Reiki energy coming more into alignment so that both of you walk away feeling better. So one way to do that is that we have these tools to assist us to tune into our intuition and to help keep us in that spirit connection so that we can be of the greatest use to each other and to ourselves. Patty, did you want to say anything?
Yes, I just want to really kind of piggyback on what Libby is saying, is that a lot of times we doubt our intuition or trust within ourselves because we feel like we're messing up or we're not doing it right or it has to be a certain way. You're too much in your head. Get back into your heart. Trust your heart. Trust the universe. And trust me, you can't mess it up. Okay? Take that home with you.
Awesome. So what we have for you today are a few of our favorite tools. Just a few because there's not enough time to show you everything that we like to use. But one of our favorite tools is using a pendulum. And this pendulum happens to be fool's gold, which is one of my favorite elements to use. Yours could be any stone that you choose. A lot of folks like to use a quartz crystal or an amethyst crystal. So the stone of your choice, and just cut into this nice little pendulum shape so that you can notice how it's moving. And now when I'm using a pendulum to connect with spirit, I'll place this pendulum first over my hand and ask spirit if I'm working with energy or chakras, if a specific chakra is open and which direction that is. And then mentally I'll say thank you to spirit, and then which direction is closed. And when spirit shows me that, I'll say thank you. Now you can do the same thing by asking which is yes, thank you, and which is no. Thank you. So when you're working with this pendulum over yourself, you might hold it in front of your crown chakra and ask if it's open. Ask your trusty friend to tell you what it says. Open or closed. Noticing your sixth chakra, your throat chakra, perhaps your heart, third chakra, second, and root. You can also just ask for guidance from spirit. If you're having difficulty making a decision and you want to infuse Reiki and to really make sure that you go the right direction, you might simply ask spirit for guidance in moving in that way.
Yeah, and again, you don't have to use a pendulum. This is one of our techniques of many. Go with what you feel called to. This is, again, where intuition comes into place. You don't have to use the pendulum, only if you feel called or when you have one or you're gifted one. You're like, oh, this feels right. For a long time, I didn't use a pendulum, and I kind of use them every now and then. I use different tools primarily. I've recently learned muscle testing, which I really love that one. And so again, there's so many different techniques. What you're doing is you're confirming what your intuition is saying. So these are different techniques that you're just asking for validation because you already know it. You're just kind of double checking.
Yeah, and so another one of our favorite tools are our trusty cards. In the past, there was only ever one deck of cards, the tarot. Probably not only ever, but the most popularly known was the tarot. But nowadays, you can find cards that are connected with almost any school of belief. Many famous book authors have created cards, and in fact, my favorite deck of cards, you can tell by how beat up this is Carolyn Miss's deck of archetype cards.
Yeah, this is my recent addition. I actually have 4 different decks in my office and in my home. This is the Karma cards. I also use angel cards. I use, a variety of cards. And I usually ask the cards which ones want to play, and they will let me know which ones. Or my clients will say, can I choose from that deck? Okay, I place it usually in an area that's visible, so my clients get to make that choice and not so much that I'm making the choice for them. Again, they're using their intuition, and the cards say exactly what they need to hear in that moment, whether they like it or not, but they're like, once I hear that, I know that card hit them right where it hurts, or they needed to hear that reminder.
Yeah, and a good rule of thumb when you're using the cards is that these cards aren't predicting your future. They're simply predicting the most likely outcome or reading into the present energy based on the path that you're on in this moment. So it's certainly important to give that caveat when you're working with other people. Hey, I'm not going to be able to tell you where you're going to be for sure in 10 years from now, living in a mansion or destitute and poor. However, I can give you some insight based on where you are now and what might be helpful for you to look at. And from there, we can send Reiki energy. So I appreciate you for your time and attention today. We look forward to hearing more about how you connect best to intuition and how you choose to work through that fear of not being enough when you want to offer Reiki from our imperfect human selves. Thank you so much.